Hello and welcome to Healthy Knitting. My name is Rosie and today is February 18th, 2015. You can find me on Ravelry as LESPETITSLUXES. There is also a WordPress.healthyknitting.com website where I post this podcast if you'd like to subscribe through that way. Or you can also find me on YouTube, which many people have subscribed on YouTube as well. So, hello, this is take two. I don't know why it wouldn't export, but it wouldn't. I tried several times, moved things around, and then shut down my computer because I thought maybe I had an install to do. Maybe that was impeding on what was going on. Restarted, and it still won't work. So I'm not sure what's going on. I apparently don't know how to use iMovie very well, but we'll try again this last time. If it doesn't work, I'm going to just not record this week and try again next week. I did record the week after the last time you saw a podcast, but it wouldn't upload. And so it's still sitting on my computer. It at least exported, and I was going to try again to upload it before I uploaded this one. So anyway, hello, how are you? Let's talk about what's new and good. And you might not see cute buddy shots, but he was all in through here being super cute the last recording, and now he's sleeping. But we do have Cuddalora, who is being very cute. And let's get started. So I've told you last time that you heard me record, which was I think episode 33, that I wanted to participate in the big draw, and the deadline for that was, I think it was last Friday, and unfortunately I waited until last Friday to make my art, and I was really sick. I was laid out horizontal and I couldn't even sit upright at all, and so that means no art was made, and I did not submit for the big draw. It doesn't even mean that I would have been chosen because it was a juried show, so there's always next year, and there are always other opportunities that will come along, but that did not happen for me this time. So I've learned to be prepared and to make sure that I have things well in advance of any type of deadline. So I'm usually a last minute type person, and I think that I really need to rethink that. So I'm going to work on not being a last minute person and being more prepared. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, I wanted to share a painting that I did make. It's a little mini, and sorry, I had all this prepared last time, but you were not able to see that. So here is a little mini painting that I made. Oops. And these are just, I think they're just about the size of my camera, just a little bit less. They're really, really tiny. I love these minis because they're so fast and they're fun to make. And they, obviously, because they're fast, it doesn't take a lot of time. I can just pop one out. A big one usually takes me maybe an hour, I think, depending on how things go. I did make another one, but the colors are a little weird. I'll show it to you. It's a blurry picture, though. And this is a bigger one. But the colors, I did it from a photograph, and sometimes when I'm looking at a photograph far away to get the perspective right of what I want to draw, I can't see exactly what's going on in that photograph very well, even if I have it blown up big on my computer. So I didn't quite see things correctly. I wasn't quite getting it right, and that jarring blue and orange yellow next to each other are not pleasing me, but I do like the tree. So what I can do is cut the tree out of that whole picture. I can just cut it. I don't think I can fix the blue. I tried a little bit and it just wasn't working very well, but I can always try again and see if there's another way, and if it doesn't work, then I can totally crop out that picture and cut it. But it was fun. It was a different type of picture than I was used to doing. I don't really do snow all that well, and so I wanted to really learn how to do the color, because snow is just not white. Snow has a little bit of blue in it, a little bit of colors of the sky, and it definitely has different temperatures. So I think for our first try, it was pretty good in pastels. So I will do it some more again. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to tell you something cute. I got a new cat bed one of my friend's cats, I don't know why, did not like this bed. And so here's Buddy sleeping in his new bed. And if you've ever seen, I made wool cat beds for them, and they just absolutely love them. But they totally turned their noses up on that because of this thing. And for the longest time, they didn't really learn how to get inside. They were just laying on top of it because it's like a little tube. Well, it's got an end, but they can crawl in there. It's big enough for like 2 cats to be able to fit in there. Well, here's 2 cats, but they weren't inside. Here's Buddy is sleeping peacefully, and then Catalora's like, no, I want to come inside too. So she just laid on top of him. That was really cute. I love when my cats do things like that because it makes me smile and makes me happy. So yay for cats. I wanted to give you an update on and now I just closed everything. So let me try to remember how this goes. I showed you, and this does have, see that? The markings? That is not anything gross from the maker. That is actually part of the sweater, because when it was on my hands and I've used it, the fuzz would get on here and it would just stay on there. But this is absolutely fantastic. And I know that her website is an Etsy shop, and it's Pirate, Pyretyarns, Pirate Yarns on Etsy. It's $2, and it is all natural ingredients. Of course, now I do not have the page up, but coconut oil and beeswax and essential oils. Remember I told you about fragrance oils and how you don't want to use fragrance oils, you want to use essential oils? Well, this is all that's in there. There's no fragrance oils, all essential oils. And they're $2. And she calls them, Balm Bombs, BALMBOMBES, Balm Bombs, $2. Absolutely amazing. I love this stuff. I keep it in this little thing on my desk here. And when my friend came over to help me again with some stuff, his hands were really dry and cracked and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, here, you need to try this stuff. He's like, oh, I don't want to put anything greasy on my hands. It's, that's not that's why my hands are dry, because I don't put anything on them. And I'm like, you really need to try this because it's not greasy at all. And immediately his hands they looked like normal hands again. And I have never had such nice hands. And I've made my own stuff as well, but I've never made it into a little bar like that. It's always been a little more greasy. I love that. I am definitely going to continue to keep using that and buy those $2. Holy cow, you could use them every day forever. Just really inexpensive way to keep your hands and your lips, because I just put it on my lips as well. And it's because it has lavender oil in it. Remember I told you about lavender oil? It really helps with cold sores. Sorry, I've already done this once, so it's just really weird to do this all again. I feel like my enthusiasm is kind of pitched away. And now I don't have cute cat co-hosts. Catalora's now on my lap. Go figure. So, anyway, and where's my iPad? Okay, so I also have joined a new knitting group. I don't know if I told you that last week. I might have. I'm not really too sure or not last week. The last time, and you didn't see it because it isn't posted yet. So I don't even know what I talked about, and it gets confusing. I'm sorry. It really does. It gets very confusing. And now since I've podcasted, I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Anyway, my local library has a main office branch and an annex. The annex is at the mall. It's not far from my house. And it's a nice group of people. They're actually, right now, they were collecting hats up until the 25th, so there's still another week if I choose to make a hat for them for cancer patients. And they made a whole bunch of really cute hats, absolutely adorable. Some were crocheted, some were knit, but they all had like a little theme to it. Like there were 2 eggplant hats, 2 apple hats, really super cute, some stockings, some fuzzy ones, some like all sorts of different types of hats. Really, really fun. And I did not make one. I have perhaps some chenille that I could make one, but you have to be, it's more like a hat to wear indoors, not for an outdoor hat, because this is for chemo when they've lost their hair. And I have made some hats this week, but they are not really chemo hats. They're for wearing outside, and as you'll see in a little bit. But anyway, that was really fun. And on Sunday, one of the things I love about meeting other people is that different interests, different groups, and they know different things than the group of people that are my friends that I knit with on Thursdays. So on Sundays at Hudson Valley Sheep and Wool Company, and I'm not sure which Sunday, I know it's this upcoming Sunday, but I don't know is it the first and third? Is it every third? I have no idea. From 12 to 4, they have a gathering of a lot of people that come and just do whatever craft that they want. They can knit, they can spin, some people bring weaving. I was like, they bring weaving? I thought bringing a spinning wheel was trouble enough to travel with, versus then now bringing a loom, even a table loom. I mean, I could see maybe a Cricut or something, or like a little ankle loom, but like a rigid heddle loom. That's a lot to travel with. I don't think I would want to do that, but maybe that's the only time you have to be able to craft and get together with your friends. So it should be fun. It's a little distance for me, but if I'm there for 4 hours, it probably would work out. And I am going to bring my spinning with me if I decide to go. It depends on the weather. I'm not traveling in bad weather. That's just not going to happen. My car and I do not go out. We stay home, and we've been staying home quite a lot because we've had a lot of snow here recently. There's about past my knee in the lawn of snow. It's been a little cold this week, but it hasn't been terrible. I mean, it hasn't really been like really freezing cold, although some people, sorry, I just saw a big bird fly by. Some people have had some frozen pipe issues. My house has been fine, so I'm really happy with that. Anyway, that is about it for my new and good. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I think I talked longer last time. I'm probably talking really fast now since I've already done this. So let's get on to the knitting. Guess what I finished? The socks are done, and that is why I am podcasting today, because I might give these to my friend tomorrow. So this is the vanilla socks. These have been on the needle since April. I was originally making them for someone else, and that did not work out, and so I felt maybe since I wasn't making them for me originally, I can just give them to my other friend. And these are Plain Vanilla Socks by Carrie McKernan. And, I almost dropped that. I show you these because I don't do show notes, and then this way, if you are a visual person and you want to see it and you type it into Ravelry and look for it, that's an easy way. If I say something and you're not sure what I'm talking about, or you need information, please PM me on Ravelry. If it goes in the group, I don't necessarily see it right away, so I would more often see a notification from an email because it pops into my email. I have it set up to actually go there. I don't actually have to go on Ravelry, which I don't do as much as I used to. I used to look up every day like what the new patterns were, and now it's like maybe once a week, and then I'll just look through until I get bored. I don't know. Things are weird with me these days, I guess. I don't know. I can't even figure out what I want to make next, but we'll talk about that later. So this is with Aslan Trends yarn, which is called Santa Fe, and I love this yarn. It's very durable. It holds up. It does not wash and dry well in the dryer. It will shrink. I do believe that it's superwash though, so I'm not exactly sure, but I do normally just wash them on cold, or never put them in the dryer, but just let them dry flat. But sometimes the using the laundry, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened to my speaking abilities, but they were so much better last time. So anyway, I used to have a washing machine. It has now broken, so I have to go to the laundromat, and so the machines there tend to not be so good on my socks. I don't know if the temperature, even though I wash everything on cold, is always cold, or if it's not. And it's just a top load. It's a front loader. I've had more success at home in my regular washing machine, but I just wash them by hand, and then I have a spin machine, and it spins out all the water, and that works out great. I love that thing. If you don't have a spinner to get the excess water out, and you don't have a newfangled washing machine, those things are great because they really do get all the water out, and then your drying time is like nil. I use, when I'm at the laundromat, those big spinners, I use one of those as well. It's like 50 to 75 cents, and it cuts my drying time in half, which is great for me because I don't want to waste time drying stuff. I'd rather get out of there quicker, and it's less wear and tear on your clothes. So anyway, so socks are done. Yay, good for that. I think the next time I make a pair of socks, I have other needles that I want to use that I talked about a while ago. Almost a year ago, I bought at Webb's at the tent sale that they have in May, and I haven't used them yet because I needed to get these off the needles since April. So now I can use those needles. So I'm really excited about that. I wanted to go down and see what a zero, these are size 1. I wanted to see what a zero was like. Since I am a typically now loose knitter, I thought it would be good to go down even smaller. And when I used to knit these socks, they were a lot more dense than they are now, than they are on the ones. So I could probably try this in a size 0 and see how they come out, because they used to be very, very tight, and now they're not. And I like my socks tight. I don't like them a loose weave because I tend to wear through them then. I feel that the tighter the fabric, the better the wear they get. Okay, so as you can see, I finished the big project. Catalora's on my lap now, though. This is the global cable coat. And oh, I didn't tell you, but you might find out if I get that other podcast loaded up. Hang on. So here's the coat. There's supposed to be buttons here. I'll show you the picture in a second. And the sleeves work out fine. And it goes down to about there, just about where my hand is. I love it. It's made with, you want to come sit back down? It's made with Queensland Kathmandu Chunky, which to me is more like an Aran weight yarn. It's not really a chunky. I used size 8 needles for the body. The only time I used 5s were for the cuff piece so that it didn't bell out completely. It is not blocked, and it is not decat haired. It is full of cat hair everywhere. I'm not even sure. I think what I might do is I have just a little, I sold the rest of the yarn I still have 6 left that I want to sell. But I sold the rest of the yarn. I bought like 30 balls of it. Crazy. I didn't need 30 balls. I can't even remember how much this used, but it wasn't that much at all. And so I just need a little bit to make the ties, and that's it. So anyway, I can knit up a little bit of a swatch and see what happens when it gets blocked, because it fits perfect right now, and if it changes, I think I might be devastated because you didn't see this part, I don't think, but I wound up knitting one sleeve it was this one. I knit it all the way to the end, and I realized that I had still the wrong needle in there. I had the 5 in there, and I didn't mean to, and so it was way too small. And then I switched out the needles, and I was still knitting so tight, or I was knitting tighter than normal, which is weird, and it was actually looking a little too small, so I had to pull it and stretch it a little bit, and it's okay. I mean, it's not that noticeable. I notice it just a tiny bit, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to rip it out and redo it, but my gauge is just weird. If I don't start and finish something like all within one time period, it gets really wonky on me, which is why I'm just very glad to have everything almost pretty much off the needles. I have a couple old projects that I'm almost so close to being done, but I can't figure it out, and so I'm not even sure. I'll show it to you one day. I'm not going to talk about it now. But yeah, so anyway, the coat is done. If you ever, did I show it to you? No. Global Cable Coat, Jennifer Hagen, and it's from a book called Brave New Knits. Got it from my library. You can make this cable without a cable needle. Super, super easy. It's easy to memorize. Like, the whole thing was super simple. The only part that I got a little confused about was the collar, but once I just did what she said, except for the other the first one that's in the directions works out just fine. The second one, the increase is on the wrong end, and you just need to switch that. It's not a big deal. But it was a little weird to kind of increase this way, and my brain wasn't capturing that. I just thought I had to increase this way. You're actually grabbing one stitch every time something long. I can't even remember how it goes now. Holy cow. But it's every 3 for $4 you pick up, and then you have to pick up the back, and then so you have 2 lapels here, and then you knit them together with the back. Super simple once you like grasp that concept, but it makes a nice color. I absolutely love this coat. It is super warm. I have not worn it outside yet because it's kind of cold, and although this is a very warm coat, it's still, like it doesn't close all the way. There's no buttons and zippers, and there's a little bit of air in here in the bell collars. It's not that big of a bell though. And I thought it was going to be more wonky than it is, but it's not that bad. I've been wearing it all day here because I podcasted this morning and you didn't get to see it, and I've just been wearing this coat because it's super warm and comfortable. I'm wearing my little stick pin, which actually has a front to it, but I can't find it. I wore it one day and I had it on I made a little cowl type thing, and I didn't put a closure on it, and so I used this little hook, and I had my jacket on, and I was sitting here and I was like, oh, I'm getting hot, and I started to take that off, and when I undid the pin, there was no metal part, so I don't know how that fell off, where it could have gone. No clue at all whatsoever. So if you have one of these little pin things, be very careful about how you click it into your thing so that it stays and the outer part doesn't go flying off, because I have no idea where it is. So I've made some hats. I made the Wanderer cap by Jared Flood, and this is from one of the books that I showed you before, The Weekend Hats 25 Knitted Caps, Sprays, Cloches, and More. And that is a really cute hat. This is with the hand spun that I talked to you about before. There's a little bit of weirdness at the top. I really couldn't understand, because when you knit this, everything shifts, and it keeps shifting and shifting and shifting. But it doesn't really tell you what to do here at the top with the stitches. So I started doing what I thought would work, and it really didn't, and then I went back later and tried to fix it, but it doesn't really look all that good. So if I stick it in the back, nobody can see. So this is the hat. The hand spun is chocolate cormo and alpaca mixed, and I spun it woolen. I think it's a 2-ply. I've showed you this before. I only have a little bit left, and I think I'm going to collect all of I have also a bunch of 1 ounce pieces of hand spun that I did that were rare breeds and weird stuff that I got, and I just wanted a little bit to see if I liked it. I think I'm going to put all of that together and make like a linen stitch scarf. I think that would look really cool, and then the ends can just stick off and be fringe at the end. I have a linen stitch scarf that I love, and I never wear it because it's in the back of the closet, and I only thought about it earlier today. I was like, oh, I never wear that. Why don't I wear that? So in the pattern, it calls for 2x2 rib, either 2x2 or 1. Anyway, it's a ribbing. I didn't like the way that looked. I'll just show you the difference. You can see, I thought that the ribbing didn't go. Like, I thought it was just kind of jarring the way it's ribbing and then it's garter stitch. So I thought, like the Reich hat, which is here, that I would just use a garter stitch edge. I love this hat. I wear this all the time. It is one of my favorite hats. And I like the way the garter stitch is as a rim. So I thought, well, let me just try that with this. I didn't have a lot of yarn, so I couldn't do a long, I didn't know if I would have enough, so I didn't do a long garter stitch. I did about 1 inch in size something. I don't remember. But it's a little bit smaller so that it would be a little bit tighter, because I wasn't sure if it was going to be too loose or not. So you can turn it up if you want, and it still kind of works down on my ears. Or you can not and wear it that way. I like it. It's very comfortable and it fits perfect, and I'm very happy. It's soft and squishy, and I love, 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 love this yarn. I made another hat called the Blossom Hat, and this is with Barocco Blackstone tweed. This is from the Vogue book that I showed you last time I was talking with you that you were able to see. And it's by Nora Gone. I love Nora Gone, by the way. I love her patterns. They're so ingenious. They really are. And her baubles, if you have never done a bauble that you've liked before and you've not tried hers, her baubles are super easy. And as long as a bauble's not in a weird place, I'm okay with them. I don't think they're ugly. I just think sometimes they're in weird places. But these baubles were the simplest, easiest baubles I've ever made in my life, and I absolutely love them. I can't remember how I did it already, but I'm going to go back to the library and write that down somewhere in my notes, because anytime I come across a bauble in another pattern, I am not bothering with what they said. Hers is the way to do it. Now, the thing about Blackstone tweed is that this yarn tends to grow, and I should have remembered that because I made a sweater by Nora as well in Blackstone tweed, and it seemed like it was going to work out perfect until I blocked it. And once I blocked it, it grew, and I love the sweater. I still wear it. I just wear it more like a coat instead of a sweater, because I could wear like probably 2 things underneath it and it would still be okay. But this hat was perfect before I blocked it, and then I blocked it and it got so big. So here's the hat. You can see it's super big. So I think what I'm going to do, because I really like it, is I'm going to take it to the laundromat and put it through the dryer. I've had success with this before, so I will try again. If it doesn't work, then I will find someone with a bigger head than me and I will give it to them. But I really do like it. I love Blackstone tweed. It's a super warm and soft squishy yarn. And I even went down on the needle size. I could have gone down one more size than what was called for in the pattern. And next time I knit with it, because I do have more of it to knit with, I am going to go down needle sizes, and I'm going to be very careful when I block it. Maybe I should just do a swatch first. I don't know. I'm not making swatches for hats. And I just didn't remember with the other project. So I made another hat out of the Vogue knitting book, and it's called the Trapper hat. I love how it looks on the model. It's one color, and it's a beautiful, beautiful hat, really warm looking. Well, I had Ella Rae Mega left over from when I made my slippers, and I'm going to show you those two in a second. And I had 2 different colors. Now, I didn't swatch for this, and it came out big. So this is the hat. I think it would have looked much better if it was in one color, all black. But I'll tell you what, if I can shrink this a little bit, I think it will work out. I did wear it outside when it was snowing out and we were getting like a foot of snow, and I was out there shoveling. Sorry, there's a squirrel out there. And the thing about the back is that it can fit over the back of your jacket so that no snow goes down under in between. So it is a nice layer there to keep the snow out. And I was wearing it like this when I was shoveling, and so I wasn't getting snow in my face. But it's huge, and I haven't woven in the ends because I'm lazy. But I think it'll be all right for a snowy winter hat when no one is around. My friends were laughing at me at knitting. I just love making hats. They're so fun. So here are my slippers. And that is kind of gross, but they're holding up really well. And I haven't woven in the ends. You can see they are, I depill these constantly. You can see all the pills on them. But the bottom, I've been walking on those. It was like a single, and it's been fine. I think I wore through my Cascade faster than I've been wearing through these. I never did get the felt things made because apparently I'm a little bit too lazy. Okay. One more thing to show you, and this is going to get ripped out. This is the shawl with the hand spun, and it is not how I intended it. I wanted it more shallow under my chin and longer this way because my intention was to wear it like a scarf, because I like scarves like that. But this is too short. I feel like I'm being strangled. I kind of like the longer crescent shaped or sideways shawls, and so I am going to try a sideways shawl on this, I think it would look fine if the colors kind of blended sideways. Maybe I will do another hitchhiker type shawl. I don't know how much I have, but I think it would be fine. Maybe I can knit it just a little looser. I don't know. But I dyed, this is merino that I spun and dyed with greener shades. And I do like the colors. And I did a Navajo or a chain ply to keep the colors together. And that worked out really easy. I've gotten much better at my chain plying. I like the green. Let me show you the green. Isn't that pretty how it's kind of like, well, oh, it's not even looking nice. It reminds me of Water Lily, which is a classic elite yarn, where it's very, it's not a solid color, but it's got a little bit of variation in it, but it's not like totally variegated. So that was fun, but I'm just not really in the mood to play with that right now because I've already knit it and I don't like it. So I just want to I need to undo it and reskein it and wash it again, and then I'll play with it again. What else do I want to show you? So spinning, I feel so bad you don't even see Buddy today because seriously, he was being super, super cute. And not like annoying cute, like, you know, like in my face before, but just super, super cute. He had the cutest little looks on his face. Buddy! Come here, bud. Come here, honey. Come say hello. I just woke him up. Come here, baby. So this is the spinning. I haven't finished yet. If I go Sunday, like I said, I'm going to bring this with me. This is all I have left. It's attached to the wheel, though, behind you. Not a lot. Probably half of it left, maybe. So I would like to get that done because I want to make a shawl out of that, and I think it would be nice to wear this time of the year and not in the spring. It's a darker color. I think it would be nicer to wear now, so I'd really like to get that done. Buddy, come here, baby. Come here, buddy. Come here. He's not coming. So that's it for spinning. I got a lot of knitting done, but not so much spinning. I did spin yesterday, but I haven't been because I've been busy doing other things. What else do I want to tell you? So, healthy tip. If I can get the one number 34 up, there's a bunch of stuff on there that hopefully you'll find helpful. This is I think that it's a little different than that. I'm pretty sure that it goes along with it. So here it is. And my tip is about human beings and how we have relationships with people, and sometimes these people might not be always upbeat. They might complain a lot, or they might be just overall not happy people, always pointing out the things that are negative instead of pointing out the things that are positive. And really, all growing up I was a very positive person, and then I had some stuff happen and I turned out to be one of those people who was like, this is horrible, that's horrible, blah 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 blah. And I kind of noticed all of a sudden all the people around me were like that too, and I was like, what happened to that optimistic, fun, happy person that I used to be? I don't know even where she went. So I kind of stopped having those relationships, and things really changed a lot. So the people who are like that can't really handle being around people who are totally optimistic all the time, and so they'll either tend to leave you, or you will have to be like, look, I can't do this anymore. I need to be, you're welcome to participate in my life, but I'm not going to listen to you complain, and I'm not going to be this. And it's fine if somebody has something minor that happens, but if it's the same thing over and over and over again, you're like, you're not changing anything in your life to make that situation better. I'm not going to listen anymore because I don't need that stuff falling onto me either. So it's all about keeping the good stuff around you, and the more you keep out all that other stuff and you just keep the good stuff around you, the more good stuff will come to you. And you're like, well, that's fine, Rosie, how does this translate into your health? Well, it manifests into your health as well. If you can be in a good mood, if you can be happy, if you can not complain, if you can be grateful, appreciative, and be happy about all these things, well, your health will reflect that as well. So that is my tip. And you're like, well, Rosie, what happens if I'm married to that? It does happen where sometimes our partners are in different phases and things, and you can work through that by appreciating who they are. Sorry, I'm Kettle-Laura's on my lap, and she's just making some funny noises here. So you can appreciate someone for who they are. I'm not saying to totally kick your family out, but you can always try to turn that conversation around. If they don't want to turn it around, you can stop listening. Like, yeah, I've done that too. I've just stopped listening. It's very important for me to feel how I want to feel, and if someone else can't handle that, then that's their responsibility, but it's not my responsibility to make everybody happy. I can only make myself happy and do what makes me happy. And so by not listening to someone complain, by not buying into the story of somebody being unhappy, I am keeping myself in an uplifted position, which either will uplift them or they won't bother with you. So, but it's your choice. You really have control over how you feel, and it can really make your health turn around when you start caring about yourself more than you care about somebody else. And you're like, but that's impossible. I can't do that. You can't care about anybody else more than you care about yourself. It's just not possible. Because how can you help anyone if you can't even do it for you? I know, especially for mothers and parents, they want to do everything for their kids and they want the best for them, but the best way to show your kids anything is to show them by example. So if you show them that you care about yourself, they learn that they need to care about themselves. Do you know? It's kind of like some things you have to show by example. And our kids pick up on stuff like that all the time. There's a really, I think it was, it's a YouTube video of how kids mimic their parents, and they do all the behaviors of your parents. Kids do it when they mimic you, and they all of a sudden they're talking, and the little parrot is going, and it's exactly you, except it's not what you wanted anybody else to hear. Kids are great at that because they don't know. Socially, they just don't know what they're saying, and they just say blah, 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 and you're like, oh my God, what did that kid just say? It's stuff that they hear. They pick up on these things. They're not stupid. They're incredibly smart, kids are. And so that's how you teach your kids, is to show them by the behaviors you do. So when you show them that you care and you care about yourself and love yourself, and you're doing things to nourish and take care of yourself, they will learn how to do that for themselves as well. So it is a big plus. I know it's really hard for moms to take the time out for themselves when they're always busy doing everything for their kids, but really you need to learn how to do that to take care of yourself, and we've talked about that before. But anyway, I didn't want to go off too many tangents, but sometimes when I talk about the same thing that I've just talked about 5 minutes ago, it's a little boring for me, so I want to talk about other things. Okay, well, we got through 37 minutes with only one drop frame. That's awesome, because last time I had about 5. That means it's getting better. Gosh, iMovie. So anyway, I hope you have a great week, and we'll see how many, if I can get the one prior to this up or not. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll get this up. But I'm not trying again, because for me, this needs to be fun, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, there's not much that I can do about it. I'm not going to get frustrated, but I will try my best. And so sometimes you see me and sometimes you don't. So I would love to be more consistent. I know there are podcasts out there that have started around where I am, and they're on like episode 100. I'm at like 30. It happens. Anyway, have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Ciao.